one of the yoga teachers at the Lifestyle Center at Bonita Bay, and we are videotaping a couple of yoga classes so that during this situation you can continue to practice yoga. If you've never done yoga before, there are, I just recorded another class that is a little bit more gentle than this one, so you decide what works for you. Keep in mind that in any yoga class, you do not have to do everything that is offered up. It is much more important that you stay true to your body and to your breath. So if something isn't working for you, please do not force your body into a position that's not right for you. We will do a class that's at a basic level, but I might throw in a couple of things that are a little bit harder. So choose to go there or choose not to. It's absolutely up to you. One of the keys in yoga is never to push through pain, and secondly, you're always able to breathe. So if you find you're holding your breath, you've probably gone too far. So let's start out in Shavasana on your backs once again. Bring your heels to the outside corners of the mat. Let your toes fall open. Hands can be out at your sides, palms turned up, and the back of your head rests comfortably on the mat behind you. If it is uncomfortable in any way to have your legs extended long, you can bend the knees, maybe put a pillow or a towel behind the knees, or you can bring your feet to the floor, walk them wide, and then let your knees rest against each other. It takes all the pressure off the low back. So if it's uncomfortable to have your legs long, absolutely modify. And then shoulders, there's a little shoulder rotation to turn the palms up. And if possible, bring the back of your head to the floor. And then take a few breaths here. Notice how your body feels today. Notice any tightness, any stress, any particular injuries that's trying to heal. And yoga is meant to allow those injuries to heal. We don't want to exacerbate any injury by further causing damage. So be mindful of that as we move. And then once you've assessed your body situation, take your attention to your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale. Let the inhale fill the belly. And let the exhale release the belly. Maybe pressing the low back just a little down into the mat, engaging the core. Inhale, belly fills. Exhale. Press the low back into the mat. Take a couple more. Inhale and exhale. As much as possible, always breathe through the nostrils in yoga. Some of you may be familiar with Ujjayi breath. It's that whispering ha sound in the back of your throat. You make that noise by constricting the epiglottis in the back of the throat. So you may do that when you whisper, and it's the same sound you hear when you hold a shell to your ear. You can hear yourself breathe on inhale and exhale. So let's begin to move here. Bring the toe bones to touch, legs are long, hands can be down at your sides now, energy in your hands and arms. Point the toes, and as you point the toes, lift the arms up overhead. On exhale, flex the toes back toward your knees, hands pressed down to your side. Inhale, dive up, point the toes, let the low back arch. As you exhale, low back presses into the mat as your toes flex and your hands press down. Take a couple more rounds. Move with the pace of your breath. Try not to speed up the movement. Let it match that long, slow inhale and long, slow exhale. The next time the arms come overhead, let them rest there and begin to make circles. So rotate wrists and ankles, moving the hands and feet in circles. You may hear some clicks and pops here. That's fine, just never pain. Rotate the opposite direction. Again, pushing through pain is never the goal in yoga. So be very mindful of that if you have an injury or if you go somewhere in a pose that's just not right. Come back to stillness, reach long. As you exhale, bring the right knee into your chest. On inhale, release that leg long. As you exhale, bring the left knee into the chest. Continue to alternate from side to side. Press that knee into the chest. Press the low back down into the mat. Take one more on each side. And then on exhale, dive long once again. Bring your hands down to your sides. Bend the knees, feet to the floor. Open the knees wide with the soles of the feet pressed against each other. This is reclined cobbler. Maybe bring your hands to those inner thighs, just allowing those legs to release a little bit more. Try not to put a lot of pressure in your hands. Just let the warmth of your hands, let those muscles release and relax. And then breathe into the hips, breathe into the low belly, creating more space in the inner thighs. On inhale, arms dive up overhead. Now as you exhale, arms dive down, knees lift and press against each other. Press that low back into the mat. Inhale, knees open, arms overhead. Exhale, knees pressed together, arms down at your sides. Continue to move. Next time your arms come down to your sides and the knees press together, bring the knees into your chest, hug them in and take a little rock from side to side. And then come back to center. We'll move into reclined pigeon to open the hips just a little bit more. So feet come to the floor. Your left foot is your base. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Keep that right foot flexed. Right hand presses that right thigh away from you. And you should feel some nice hip opening on the inner hip joint of that right leg. Stay right here if this is enough sensation. If you wish to go further, you can thread your right hand between the legs, left hand comes around the outside, and then wrap around that left thigh. Bring the legs in closer to your chest. Now the energy is on the outside of that right hip. You can bend and straighten the elbows, coming in and out of the sensation. You can hold. Maybe take a little rock from side to side. These are all options, but mostly we're looking for that energy on the outside of that right hip. Take a couple breaths here. And then release the left leg if you've lifted it. Extend the right leg toward the ceiling, and we'll move through some single left leg lifts. So as you exhale, lead with the heel so the foot is flexed. Bring that leg down to the floor. Not all the way down though, don't touch. Inhale, point the toes, and lift. So continue with the leg lifts, just the right leg. So you have an option here to keep that left foot on the floor with the knee bent, or you can extend the leg long. When you're flexing through both feet, keep the low back pressing down into the mat. Use the strength of your hands and arms to press that low back into the floor. If your low back is arching as you lower, don't lower the leg so far. Maybe only bring it halfway down. Make sure you move with your breath. Once again, exhale fully as you lower the leg down, and then point and lift as you inhale. Take one more round, this time lowering the leg all the way down to the mat. On inhale, arms dive up, and on exhale, bring both knees into the chest. Once again, take a little rock, and then let's move all this to the other side. So right foot comes to the floor with knee bent, cross the left ankle over just above the knee, keep that left foot flexed. Flexing the foot protects your knee, so it engages the muscles in the leg so that you don't torque into that left knee joint. Begin by pressing the left thigh away with your hand and press on the thigh, not on your knee. Breathe into the space you're creating in that inner left hip. And again, this might be a pretty strong sensation, so perhaps you stay right here. If you wish, you can thread your left hand between the legs, wrap your hands around that right thigh, and then bring the legs in closer to your chest. Now you'll feel that energy on the outside of the left hip. So you can bend and straighten the elbows a little, again, to come in and out of that sensation on that left hip. Perhaps you hold, maybe take a little rock from side to side, but breathe through any sensation in that left hip joint. That's where we're creating space and releasing the tightness there from sitting too much, because we know we all do that. Release the right thigh, bring that right foot to the floor, extend the left leg toward the ceiling. So we'll move through leg lifts on this side. As you exhale, release the heel out and down. Before the foot touches down, point the toes, lift on inhale. So again, you have the option of keeping that right foot on the floor, or if you wish, you can extend that leg along on the mat, flexing through both feet. Keep that low back pressed down. Be very mindful of the back body. So if you're arching the back, don't lower so far. Use the strength of hands and arms to support the back body as you move. Inhaling and exhaling. One more round. And then as you exhale, slowly and with control, bring that leg back down to the mat. Both legs are long. On inhale, arms dive up overhead, reach long. And then as you exhale, bring both knees into the chest once again. Maybe take just a little rock. And then we'll move into bridge pose to release the low back, release the core. So feet come to the floor, and they're about a fist distance apart. Knees are straight up toward the ceiling. Hands come down to your sides. Maybe slide the arms just a little underneath the sacrum. As you inhale, press into your feet, press into your hands and arms, and roll the hips up. As you exhale, roll the hips back down. Now, if you felt anything in the low back or the knees, walk your feet closer to the front of your mat. On next inhale, press into your hands, arms, and feet, lift the hips, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Maybe you lift just a little bit higher each time. Let's take one more and we'll hold. So next time you lift, hold the lift. Maybe come up onto the ball mounts of your feet. So heels are lifted, hips come just a little bit higher. Maybe you can roll those shoulders further under and clasp your hands under the sacrum. Maybe you extend your right leg to the ceiling. So a lot going on here. These are all options. Bring the right leg back down if you've lifted. Stay up on the ball mat of the feet, and perhaps extend the left leg toward the ceiling. Bring that foot back down to the mat. Lift your hips just a little bit higher. If you've clasped your hands, bring them out from underneath your shoulders, and then with control, slowly lower the hips back down to the mat as you exhale. Maybe take 2 or 3 breaths to bring those hips down. Once your sacrum touches down, lower the heels, and then walk your feet wide, maybe all the way off the mat. Hands can come out to your sides. And let's windshield wiper the knees to release the low back and the hips. So as you exhale, let the hips fall to the left. Inhale, back to center, knees fall to the right. Continue to move from side to side. So you're making a windshield wiper motion with the knees, releasing the low back, releasing inner and outer thighs and the hip joint. Next time your knees go left, perhaps dive that right arm overhead, and then turn your head to look out over your left shoulder. Breathe into the right side body. On exhale, bring the right arm back down to your side. Inhale, knees back to center, and then let knees fall to the right. Add on with the left arm if you wish. And maybe turn your head to look out over the right shoulder. And feel that space all the way down the left side, through the ribs, the hips. And then bring that left arm back down. Knees come back to center. Hug them into your chest. And let's make our way to seated. So you have options here. You can roll to one side and press up, or perhaps rock and roll to seated. Coming up, just make sure you're protecting your low back as you do that. And find your seated position. So again, if you have books or a block, you may want to sit up tall on something so that you can allow the knees to release. And if you need support under your knees, great place to put a pillow on under each thigh. Sit nice and tall. You're sitting up on the sits bones, on the back of your thighs. Maybe even a little weight shifts into the perineum. Shoulders come forward, up, back, and down. Again, shoulders forward, up, back, and down. So chest is nice and open. Imagine you have sandbags hanging on those shoulder blades, pulling your shoulders back behind you. Crown of your head lifts toward the ceiling. Your gaze is straight ahead, and then close your eyes and breathe. Come back to that full belly on inhale. Expand the belly out toward me, and then pull the belly back toward your spine as you exhale. Couple more breaths, filling the belly, and then releasing back toward the spine. So the core engages as you exhale. This is core work, and all we're doing is sitting here and breathing. Gently blink the eyes open if you've closed them. And let's take some seated sun breaths. So arms come down to your sides. On inhale, dive up, look up, palms press. Exhale, palms turn away, diving down, chin to chest. Inhale, dive up, look up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, dive up. This time as you exhale, bring the right hand to the floor and reach across the body with the left arm. So make lots of energy in those fingertips, and you're reaching all the way down through the left side body. Turn your head to look down at your right fingertips, and then up at your left fingertips. So just turn the head from side to side, creating some range of motion through the neck. Next time you look down at your right hand, sweep that left arm down in front of you. Sweep it across the body. On inhale, dive it back up overhead, making big circles with the left arm. So you can modify this as well. If you're having issues with the shoulder, maybe bring your fingertips to the shoulder and just rotate the elbow. So you're still getting the shoulder movement, but not with the whole length of the arm, adding weight. The next time the arm comes down in front, change the direction of the circle. So nice big circles. One more round. And then bring that left arm overhead. Right arm comes up to join it. And then bring the left arm down to your side and take that side hinge this way. So reach through those right fingertips. Once again, your right hips are anchored, but that right arm is long and strong. And then perhaps add the turning of the head. So on exhale, you look down at your left hand. On inhale, look up at the right. Turn your head from side to side. And then the next time you look down at your left hand, sweep that right arm down in front, across the front of your body. Inhale as it dives back up overhead. So making the circles on this side. And again, fingertips to the elbow or to the shoulder is fine, and just rotate the elbow if you have a shoulder issue on this side. Make those circles as large or as small as serves you. And then change the direction of the circle. Sweeping that arm down and around. Really lubricating that whole shoulder joint and the upper back. Take one more. And then the next time that arm comes overhead, bring the left hand up to join it. Press those palms together. Create some energy between the palms. Spine is long, shoulders are working here. And then breathe. And on exhale, release the shoulders. Bring your hands back down to your sides. Look down, chin to chest, and inhale, look up. Exhale, looking down. Bring your chin back to center, turn to look out over your right shoulder. Come back to center, look out over your left shoulder. And back to center once again. And then let's come to hands and knees. So in your table position, you want to find the right support for your body. So if you're on your palms, wrists are under shoulders, fingers are spread wide, knees are under hips, and the tops of your toes are pressed down into the mat. So if you have any issues here with your hands, you can move them further forward on the mat or come up onto knuckles, always an option. So let's move through some cat-cow vinyasa here to lubricate the spine. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze and lift your hips. As you exhale, dome the back up, head drops, hips drop. Inhale to cow tilt. Exhale to cat. Move with your breath. Make this feel good all the way up and down your spine. As you exhale into your cat, pull in the low belly, pull in the pelvic floor. Massage each vertebra as you move. Take one more cat, and then come back to center. Walk your hands to the top corners of the mat. Walk your knees back. So your hips are going to stay over the knees, but you're going to allow the upper body to drape down toward the floor. So this is puppy pose. This is an option for down dog, if down dog is not for you. So the spine is long and strong. My hips are above my knees. And my arms are extended way out in front. If you can lift the elbows, you'll get more opening through the shoulder and the side body. Take a couple breaths here in your puppy pose. And then on inhale, bring yourself back forward. And from here, we'll move into plank. So first begin by extending the right leg along. You're pressing out through the heel. And then bring that knee back to the floor. Extend the left leg long, pressing out through the heel. So we're doing sort of half planks here on each side. You can continue to move from side to side, offering that stretch to the back of the legs. Or if you're ready for plank, curl all 10 toes under and lift your knees. So in plank, you create a long line from the top of your head to your heels. Hips are down and forward, but don't collapse into it. This is not the pose, nor is this the pose. So your body is long and flat. Your core and your pelvic floor are strong. Hands and arms are working, and you're pushing your heels toward the back of the room. On exhale, let's all press back to downward facing dog. So readjust the position of the feet if you need to. You can bend one knee more deeply as you walk out your dog. Sway the hips a little from side to side if that serves you. And then come to stillness in your down dog. Likely your heels are not on the floor. Knees should be bent a little. If your knees are straight, just don't lock them out. Keep some fluidity there. Press your weight back over the thighs, and your belly should be coming closer to the thighs. Head releases. On inhale, let's lift the right leg toward the ceiling, pushing out through the heel. Bend the knee, bring the right heel to the left glute, and let's come to three-legged dog. As you lift that right knee, pull the right heel toward the left glute. Breathe here. Straighten the leg, square the hips. And then on inhale, bring that leg all the way forward, maybe grab it and bring it up, or you can come down to hands and knees and step up. Drop the left knee. So we're setting up for low lunge on this side. So this is a great place for books or blocks. Also, if you need extra support in your low lunge, you can bring blocks to either hand to bring the floor a little bit closer, or a stack of books will work just as well. So in your low lunge, the hips are dropped down and forward. So right knee is directly over ankle, and walk that left knee back so that you can lower the hips. Fingertips can stay on the floor. Feel the opening through the hip joint, particularly in the front of the left hip right now. On inhale, lift your gaze. As you exhale, shift the hips back, straightening that right leg. Try not to straighten or lock out the knee, just take most of the bend out and lift the right toes. Now we're finding the hamstring on the back of the right leg. Inhale, come forward, dropping back to your low lunge. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. And this time, take a nice big inhale, and then as you exhale, hinge out over that right leg. Belly to thighs. Feel that hamstring. So you want to feel some space being created there. Just never push through pain. And then on inhale, come back to low lunge. Find your space here in your low lunge position. And bring your left hand inside that right foot, right hand to your right thigh. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, take a twist. So you're twisting the upper body to the right. So you have options here. You can dive the right arm up if you wish. Another option is to curl those left toes under and straighten that left leg. Then maybe dive the arm up. Choices. But this is mostly about the lunge position with a twist added. On exhale, if you've lifted that right hand, bring it back to the mat. Bring that left knee back to the mat if you've lifted that. And then let's step back with that right foot. And let's come back to downward facing dog. So walk out your dog here. Again, release any tension. If you wish, you can come forward to plank, maybe hold the plank. Some of you may want to move through chaturanga. You can do that with knees up or down. I'll show you the knees down version. You lower with elbows hugging the side body, chest and belly make it to the floor at the same time. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and then exhale, toes curl under, come back to downward facing dog. Take a couple more breaths here. And then we'll set up for the other side. On inhale, left leg lifts, pushing out through the heel. Bend the left knee, bring the heel toward the right glute. And then lift that left knee while you press that heel toward the glute. So you're getting nice opening in the front of that hip. You're also getting a lot of great work on that standing leg. Take a breath in your three-legged dog. And then square the hips, straighten that leg. Bend the knee and bring it forward. And again, you can come down to knees and just grab that leg and step it up into your low lunge. So find your position here, walking that right knee back. Left knee is directly over ankle. So again, if you find yourself out here somewhere with that knee way out in front, walk those toes further forward. Keep the knee over the ankle to protect your knee. The opening should be right here in that hip flexor, but the left knee is also, left leg is strong. Fingertips can stay on the floor if you wish. Maybe you want to bring them up to the knee. Maybe you'd like to dive up. But let your hips drop down and forward. So let's come to our reverse lunge once again. Take an inhale in low lunge, and as you exhale, shift those hips back, taking most of the bend out of that left knee. Just don't lock it out, and lifting the left toes, finding the hamstring in the back of the left leg. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hips shift back. Inhale, forward. And this time as we shift back, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, hinge out over that left leg. Belly toward the thighs. Feel that space in the back, the length of the left leg. And then breathe, nice long inhales and exhales. And then on inhale, come back forward, back to your low lunge, and we'll add the twist. So right fingertips can come to the inside of that left leg, your hand to the floor perhaps, left hand to left thigh, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, take that twist to the left. So you have options here. You can curl those right toes under, maybe lift that leg long and strong, pushing out to that heel. Perhaps you add the arm. And the fingertips do not have to point toward the ceiling. We're just coming into that twist. So find your stable position here, and then breathe. That's one of the definitions of yoga, is to put your body into shapes and then find the breath. On exhale, you can bring that left hand down if you've lifted, bring the right knee down if you've lifted, and then let's step back and come right back into downward facing dog. So again, walk out the feet a little. This should be feeling like a resting pose. Again, you can come forward to plank. Maybe hold plank for strengthening. Keep the core strong. If you wish to move through chaturanga, you can lower the knees, bring the chest down to the mat, inhale to up dog or cobra, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. So those are options. If you need a break, you can come to child's pose. Always an option. Just widen the space between your knees, bring your hips back towards your heels, and find your child's pose. So wherever you choose to go here, in down dog, holding plank, maybe moving through the vinyasa, or maybe child's pose, make sure you're breathing, that you can find a comfortable place. Take 3 long, deep breaths. And then on next inhale, let's make our way to the top of the mat to a standing fold. So you can walk your feet up and find your standing fold position with your feet. Maybe toe bones are touching, maybe feet are a fist distance or 2 apart. Belly is resting on thighs, so bend the knees, release your head. Hands can be on the knees for support, elbows can be on the knees for support. On inhale, let's sweep all the way around and up, palms touch overhead, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, dive up, look up. Exhale, hinge and fold, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet, sweep the arms all the way around and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, dive up, look up, exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, flat back, exhale, fold. Keep the deep bend in the knees, bring your hands to your knees, and let's move up into chair pose. So lift the upper body, weight is in your heels, so get it out of your toes. Maybe lift your toes right off the mat. So shift the weight back. Spine is long, glutes are tucked a little under, hands can stay right here, or if you wish, bring them out in front, turning the palms up. So we're in chair pose here. Those legs are working. Core is strong. Take a breath. Make sure you're breathing. And then on inhale, bend those knees. Let's come all the way back down. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way around and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Press your thumbs into your heart. Notice your heart rate. Just by holding chair pose for a few seconds, that heart rate really increases. So slow it down. Find your breath. And let's take a few more sun breaths. On inhale, arms dive up. Look up, exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, dive all the way around and up. Palms touch, exhale. Hands to heart center, Samastiti. Inhale, dive up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Take a big step back with the right foot and turn those right toes out toward the side of your mat. Walk your left foot a little bit more toward the center of the mat, and then when you're ready, you can cartwheel your way up to Warrior Two. So the left heel should intersect the right instep, and there's a deep bend in that right knee, but the knee tracks over the ankle once again. The outside of that right foot is glued to the mat, long and strong. On inhale, flip the palms, and then dive the left arm up. Right arm can graze along that right thigh. So legs don't move, you keep the deep bend in the front knee, you keep pushing out strongly through that right foot. Exhale, back to Warrior Two. Take a breath. Exhale into side angle. You can rest the left forearm on your left thigh. Right hand reaches long and strong. Inhale, back to Warrior Two. Take a breath here. On exhale, bring hands to your hips. Straighten that left knee, but don't lock it out. Shift your hips to the right. And then left arm can come down on the inside of that left thigh and dive the right arm overhead, coming to triangle, Trikonasana. So it's as if you were standing against a wall and your whole back body is pressed against that wall. So it's a side bend. On inhale, bring yourself back up, come back to Warrior Two, take a breath here, and then hands come to hips, straighten that left knee, and turn all 10 toes to face the side of your mat. Maybe widen the stance just a little. Hands on hips, and as you exhale, let's hinge forward with a nice flat back. Bring your fingertips down to the mat. Maybe you can widen the stance even further. Let your head release. Walk your hands way out in front of you, and then press your hips toward the wall behind you, coming to a wide-legged down dog. Keep a little give in the knees, try not to lock them out. Breathe all the way down through the back body, releasing the spine. And then walk yourself back to center, hands to hips, nice flat back, and then with a strong core, lift yourself back up to standing. And then turn the right toes out to the back of the room. And set up for warrior two on this side. So right heel again intersects left instep, bend into the right knee this time. So your shoulders, upper body, everything faces the side wall. Arms come out to your sides, and then the only thing that turns is your head to look out over your right fingertips. So here you are, back in warrior two, going the other direction, and let's exalt. So flip the palms, right arm dives up this time, left arm can graze that left leg. Legs stay the same. On exhale, come back to warrior two. Take a breath. Now on exhale, bring that right forearm down to that right thigh. Dive that left arm up and overhead. Reaching long, make a long diagonal line with the body. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Maybe walk those right toes a little bit further forward to come into a deeper bend into that knee. And then on inhale, let's come to triangle. So shift the hips to the left, right hand come down the inside of that right thigh, dive the left arm up, and you're in Trikonasana on this side. And again, it's a side bend, not a forward fold. So imagine you're between two panes of glass, and your body is long and strong, angled to the right. On inhale, let's come back up, warrior two, bend into that knee once again. Find your fierce, strong warrior. And then as you exhale, let's cartwheel the hands back down to the mat on either side of that right foot. And then step that foot back, coming back to plank. And again, you can hold right here. This is a very strengthening and powerful pose. You can lower the knees if you wish. Come down with elbows hugged into the side body, chest and belly come down together. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, back to downward facing dog. And once again, walk out your dog. Make this feel like a resting pose for you. Shift the weight into your legs. Take 3 deep breaths. And after that third exhale, come to your knees, shift your hips around, and come back to seated. Bring your legs out in front. So we'll do one more little twist here before we make our way back to Shavasana. So legs can be long in front. Cross the right knee over the left, planting this right on top. So you have options here. If you want to get into a little more hamstring opening on the back of that left leg, you can keep the left leg straight. Maybe create just a little cushion underneath that left knee so that you're not tempted to hyperextend the knee. This is one option. If you wish to focus more on the hips, perhaps bend that left knee, stack the knees on top of each other. Make sure both glutes hit the floor. So if you're sitting kind of off at an angle, that's not what we're looking for. Keep both hip bones planted on the floor. Hands, again, can be under that left knee if you've got that left leg extended, or just anywhere that's comfortable alongside your body. And then as you exhale, let's start to hinge. So depending on where your tight spots are, this hinge may be at 1/2 inch, and it doesn't matter. Find the opening in the back of that left hamstring if that left leg is long. Maybe find some space on the outside of either hip joint if you have the knees crossed. Wherever you are, take 3 deep breaths here. On your next inhale, let's walk yourself back upright. Untangle the legs so you can straighten them out in front. Maybe shake them out a little, rotate those ankles. And then let's switch sides. So again, this time the right leg can stay long. You can cross the left knee over and try to stack it right on top. If you keep this leg long, this is the hamstring opening, so maybe you put your hands underneath that knee joint, keep the right toes pointed to the ceiling. So as you hinge forward, you're going to find that hamstring on the back of that right leg. Another option is to bend the right knee, stack the knees on top of each other. Either way, you're getting good hip opening. As you're ready, exhale and hinge forward, maybe just a couple inches, just to the point where you either feel that hamstring engage or the outer hips if the knees are crossed. So it doesn't have to be far, it's just where you feel something happening. We like to call it the Goldilocks point, so it's not too little and it's not too much. And then take 3 long, deep breaths. On inhale, fingertips to the floor, gently bring yourself back upright, unwrap the legs, extend them out in front, shake them out a little, and then we'll make our way onto our backs for our final Shavasana. So feet on the floor, knees are bent. On inhale, lift the heart, lift your gaze. As you exhale, roll halfway back. Inhale, lift. On exhale, bring your hands behind you if you need to, or just walk yourself back, lowering yourself down onto the mat, knees into your chest. Take a rock from side to side. Maybe circle those knees a little, make this feel good. Massage into that low back. And then bring the knees back to center, hug them in, take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift forehead up towards your knees. Really scrunch everything up here. Squeeze all the muscles of your body. Elbows press into the side body. Core is fully engaged, hugging down. And then on inhale, lower the upper body, feet to the floor. Extend your legs long, maybe heels to the outside edge of the mat. Arms can come out to your sides, palms facing up. And now release. Let it all go. Allow your body to be heavy. All the work of the practice is designed to bring you to this point of complete release. So let it happen. Keep your mind focused on that soft inhale and soft exhale. Very gently, bring movement to your wrists and ankles. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, press your low back down into the mat. And the knees come to your chest, roll to your right side. Bring your left hand in front of you so that you can gently press yourself up to a seated position. So find your comfortable seat for our closing. Hands come to heart center. Press your thumbs into your heart. Close your eyes and bow your head to your heart with a word of gratitude for your body, your breath, and your practice. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you can create. I thank you for joining me today. It is my honor to guide you. Namaste.